Welcome back, guys. So, we got a little distracted last episode. We were working on an ender chest, and we only got about maybe halfway done. We enchanted a bunch of tools, right? Filled up the easy ones, but we still got a lot to go. So, I think what we're going to do here is we're going to speed run the rest of the shulker boxes. And then we got a project to tackle to actually help with this. But first, shulker boxes. And first is going to be our redstone box. We've been here at the witch farm for quite a while, and there we go. We're probably going to have to come back here at some point because we have a lot of redstone things to make. The next one we're filling up is our food shulker box with, of course, this new pork chop farm that we made in the last episode. We have so much pork chop now. So there we go. Golden carrots and pork chops whenever the golden carrots run out. Next, we got our fireworks shulker box. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that is the last easy one. But I also think there is an advancement for this. So if we grab a little bit more sugar cane, and then we need a bunch more stacks of gunpowder. I think if we fill up the entire inventory with rockets, I think there is an advancement for it. So let's just make all these extra ones. And what am I doing here? Uh-oh, did I not do something? Did I do something incorrect? Okay, I guess I just didn't grab enough gunpowder. And then we'll do that. And there we go. And then I think we need a single rocket from here. And now we should be good. So if we grab all these, grab this, put one in here, and then do this. There we go. I was correct. Rocket Man, fill your entire inventory with firework rockets. Look at that. And for our hard work, we got one extra gunpowder back. Now the issue is we have a bunch of firework rockets that we don't necessarily need. Yeah, we'll put them somewhere. On to the next harder shulker boxes. And here is our tool shulker box. And you may have been wondering, what is the difference between the tools and the shovels and the pickaxes? Well, this is the difference. It's all the random tools. So warp fungus, carrot on a stick, our netherite hoe, our fishing rods, shears, flint and steel, boats, all this cool, fancy, dancy, random stuff. And I'm dreading the redstone ones because we got to spend time at the witch farm. So we'll just skip those for now. Because next, we got our nether box here. We got our obsidian, our respawn anchors, our magma blocks, some twisting vines, some soul soil. Yeah, are we really going to need all of this stuff? Probably not. Are we going to need 64 respawn anchors? Probably not, but we got them anyways. Like these things, you know, do we really need them in a box? Who knows? But we got them anyways. I don't know what soul soil can be used for actually. Maybe we'll change this. Yeah, anyways, that one is now complete because this next one is going to be a heifer. We're going to need to do a lot of crafting and a lot of wither skeletons have to deal with this one. And just like that, guys, the big heifer of a shulker box is completed. Why do we call it the big heifer? Well, this is why. We have a stack of every job block, plus a stack of enchanting tables, a stack of ender chests, and most importantly, a stack of beacons. That's why we were killing those withers. That part honestly wasn't that hard. The hardest part was the obsidian. We ended up pretty much completely exhausting our obsidian reserves here in this like little bartering farm. So I ended up using the sand duper obsidian platform regeneration kind of trick, and we got a bunch of obsidian. We had more, of course it was used for all these blocks in here. And then we also completed the shulker one. We have 9 stacks of shulker boxes that we can make now. We've now completed our 3 redstone boxes, redstone box 1, redstone box 2, and I guess technically redstone box 3. It's all of our rails. For some reason, I figured out when I was making all these, I neglected to put hoppers in any of these. So both of these were actually doubled up and I just condensed them down. Now we have 6 stacks of hoppers. As you can see, we don't have enough slime blocks. I need to spend some time at my slime farm. Clearly haven't been over there. And we also don't have enough targets or sculk sensors. Targets are incredibly annoying to make. You need all these hay bales and they're just difficult. Yeah, so now these 3 are gonna be finished. Why are you here? Why did that not kill him? Why is he... How is this guy so strong? That was kind of weird. Here's our miscellaneous shulker boxes, random things that we use or may use. Don't mind these open spaces. These are 4 more totems and another netherite horse armor. We also can make 64 snow golems if we ever want to do that. And the other thing is we're running quite low on diamonds. This is all we have left. So I think I might have to spend some time there in the mines using that tunnel bore that we made. But there is a big lava pit in the way. If we actually go down here and look, you'll see our tunnel bore is here, right? Right behind this wall is this massive lava pit. So I'm gonna have to come in here with a bunch of sand, I think, and clear this out so we can keep going. Yeah, because if we continue just a little bit, we're gonna hit lava and it's gonna spill all in here, which will not be a fun time. Here's our brewing and our ocean box. As you can see, the ocean box needs a little bit of work. And then here's our brewing box. Of course, every brewing ingredient, we can make every potion. We only have 3 rapids foots. These things are incredibly hard to get. And we're also missing slime blocks. Everything else though is cash money in here. So these we're just gonna put up for now, and that leaves one more box. This one here. Can you please? Yeah, also guys, I lost my travel bed that I just like plop down and go to sleep anywhere. I don't know where I put it. I don't know where it went. So yeah, we're dealing with the rain, I guess. But anyways, yes, we have this one last box. As you may notice, it says dies. Update, found the bed. The villager stole it. I guess the dog stole it too. So now that we have all of our other shulker boxes left, the last one we're going to work on here is this dyes box. So I want to have all the dyes on hand. And the good thing is with all the flowers and all the new like additions to the game, you can farm every dye except for purple. Dyes are also somewhat difficult to get. I don't know, they're kind of difficult to get. Well, some of them are. So for example, right, if we use like these tall bushes, these are really easy because all you need to do for these, place it down, right, and then you bone meal the top and then they pop out, right? So I'm sure a lot of you probably know that. So we don't need to worry about these too much. And then there's things, you know, like the ink stacks, the cactus, the cocoa beans for all the other ones. But then how are we going to get all the flowers? Well, that's where a dye farm comes in. And luckily, we are right next to a flower forest, and pretty much every flower that we could want, that we can need, is gonna spawn here, so we don't have to travel too far. And I'm sure many of y'all have seen a flower forest before, right? They kind of spawn in patches of flowers, but if you don't know, they actually spawn like in gradients. So there's specific areas where flowers can spawn, and then it changes based on the height also. So for example, if we're in this spot right here with all these orange flowers, if we were to build up, I don't know, maybe 20 or so blocks, there could be different flowers spawning up there. But that's pretty much the premises of how we're going to get like all these flowers. So orange is one of the ones. We're going to need to build 5 total dye farms, and I've already planned out spots for them. Luckily, the orange one is right here. And then if we fly over here, there's like a little area over in here somewhere where there are some blue ones, and then the what's the flower? Let's see, these ones. We're gonna have all those, and then we're also gonna have to go to a pale garden, and we're gonna need to go to a swamp. So let me go collecting some resources. I spent a lot of time in creative, guys, building this thing. All right, compadres. So what we have here is the beginning of our first dye farm, and you may be looking at this thinking, what the heck is this thing? How is this going to work? Well, it's actually really quite simple. So what we have here is we have this grass block floor. We have pistons on each end, and pretty much what this is going to do is when the flowers grow on this is going to be pushing back and forth to pretty much instantly break the flowers and then have more grow. So if we come down here, we have these 2 holes, right? These are going to be for our dispensers, actually. This is how we're actually going to activate like the bone meal. So we're going to have these on here, because then when we hop down in here, right in the middle, we want this facing upwards, just like that. And then, okay, let's just create some space in here. Let's make this a little easier. We want a repeater and a redstone there, repeater there, redstone down there. And the reason we have it like this is because these things move back and forth so fast that you need to actually like slow it down a little bit. So every time this floor moves, this observer is going to see it, send a signal to these, and it's going to bone meal the floor again. And we have one on each side, so we can get not the most, but a decent amount. Okay, so now we can cover all this up because this is actually good to go. The next part is we're gonna need sides on this to, of course, keep everything in. So we're gonna have this glass wall, and then how we're actually gonna like trigger these pistons is on each of these sides. We're gonna have a sticky piston, right, with an observer facing that way into the block, and then one higher we're gonna have an observer facing this. So now what this is gonna do is when those sticky pistons push up the observers on both sides, right, it's gonna get a little block update because it's gonna see the blocks here. It's going to hit this observer, which is then going to have a redstone line coming along the back of these pistons after I get these flowers out of the way. And then we're going to have one on this back side as well, right? So now this is going to shoot those back and forth. Now, the next question you might be asking, how are we actually going to power those pistons down below? Well, I'm glad you asked. To actually power those sticky pistons, we are going to have an Etho hopper clock starting on this target block right here. Then on top of this, we need our double hoppers, and then we're gonna need our comparators coming out of this, and it looks like we need a block down here, and then we need another block on the back, a redstone dust, a sticky piston on there, and then we need a redstone block on the top, because now if we put some items in there, okay, yes, it's going back and forth, perfect. This is working. For now, we don't need that doing all that though. And then from the back here is where we're gonna have our redstone line. So this is gonna come all the way down here, right? Down to the bottom and into these blocks. And now if we just throw some blocks in here, let's get out. Let's just throw like 10 blocks. And if we wait, once this redstone block goes to the other side, it's gonna power that redstone line. And look at that. You can see it start to work, and then it goes to the other side and it stops. Let's pull out all of these blocks. Oh, okay. I think we're in a bad situation right now. We have it stuck on the, no, I want it on the other side. Uh-oh. Okay. There. Put that there. Okay, so yeah, that's how that's gonna work. Now, why do we want something that's gonna automatically stop like this? Well, that's where our collection thing comes in. So we are gonna take our grass blocks here and we're gonna temporarily put one here, because on this row, we're gonna have trapdoors like this. Then once we have our trapdoors coming from here, right, we're gonna have these blocks, and then we're gonna have another redstone line out from this end of the redstone block. And if you've seen this before, you know what this is going to do. This is going to power these things, and we're going to actually add water in here. And when the farm turns off, the water is going to flush everything, and then it's going to retract, and then it's going to keep going. So let's get some water buckets so we can actually like see this in action. All right, the water buckets are in. Now if we go put some more blocks in here, we're just going to do 10 again, and you'll see the floor is moving, right? And then it's going to stop. The trapdoor is open, flush everything out, and then they'll close and the floor goes back to shuffling. That's the premise of this farm. Now, of course, we just need to put bone meal in here and do a little collection thing, and this will pretty much be good to go. It looks really funky. You can kind of see it like glitching through the ground. The other thing is though, we need an off switch. We have down here this little dedicated area. Should I leave this tree here? But we need an off switch pretty much over this way. That's where this lever is going to come in. We flip this after we place one more redstone, and then this is pretty much going to be an override signal to this hopper here. This is going to lock this. Items aren't going to transfer anymore. That's also why we have a target block. Guys, I finally started learning how to use these things. These are amazing. Target blocks are actually so good. I think I'm going to make a wheat farm, purely a wheat farm, just so I can use them. But if you notice, the farm has stopped. Now, granted, the water stays like flowing, but that's fine. It's really no big deal. So now this part is all done actually. Now, one other important thing is sometimes this farm like breaks. We just need 2 buttons here on each end as kind of like reset buttons for if that happens, because sometimes you have to just move the blocks to like the opposite side. I don't like that gravel there. You have to move the blocks to the opposite side, so that's why we have these buttons here, so then we can kind of reset the farm, push it on the opposite side, and then it'll be good to go. Now, we're eventually going to have a more permanent way to get down here and fill these things, but for now this is just going to do the job. Now if we go and hit the on lever, I don't remember which side the block should be on, so let's just flip the lever and we'll see what happens. When we stand here and we wait, it just start going back and forth, and look at that, it's growing the grass and the flowers, and then everything is collected down here. The water goes away and it starts again and just uses the bone meal. Honestly, that bone meal is going to be used up so quick. Now we just need a big collection area because this thing produces so much. Like if we go turn this off, let's go down here and grab all of our goodies. We don't need this red one. And you can see we already have almost 4 stacks. So it produces very fast. So we need to build a storage area. We're going to mine that out real quick, just simple storage thing. And then we got 4 more of these things to build. Alright guys, so before I cover it up, I wanted to show you our collection system pretty much. Or what happens here is everything flows off from the farm, right? And it's going to flow into this water stream. And it's going to flow across here. And it's going to line up against these honey blocks. And actually, I need to change this. I need to make sure that this one right here is a honey block. Okay, that's good to go. Let me just double check the rest of these now. So the items are going to flow through here, right? And then they're going to hit these honey blocks and they're going to line up in between the water stream here and on this row. And underneath here is going to be the hoppers that you saw us making, right? Our item sorters. And it looks like there's something in here. We're gonna need to fix these, but pretty much the seeds and all the random stuff is gonna go in here. Well, it's really just the seeds, and it's gonna turn into bone meal, and then the rest of the flowers are gonna continue to go around here, where it's gonna end up in these chests. And then if stuff somehow gets past here and gets past all these, right, it's just gonna loop around again. So this is connected to here, and it's just gonna keep making circles until everything is made into the hoppers. So now we just need to, of course, set the item filters, and unfortunately I can't reach in here. Okay, the item filters have been set, and if we just throw some seeds and some tulips in here, you'll see it go around, and the tulips continue to go past. They went into these hoppers, but then the seeds went in here. And if you're wondering why we have so many honey blocks on here, the items were moving so fast earlier that they would line up and they would actually get stuck like on these hoppers. Even with 2 of them, the momentum would just carry them onto the hoppers. So I just eliminated that by adding more honey blocks. Seemed to fix the issue. That's pretty much it for this. So now we just need to cover this up because obviously this looks kind of ugly. The only thing I don't like is this massive like storage thing kind of gets in the way like the best way to enter this farm. And the thing is, when you go down like on this spot, you end up right, oops, wow, whoa, what is going on? You end up right here in like in front of the chest. So it's super awkward, but you know, I guess it is what it is, because these are our refill spots, right, for our dispensers. So those need to be open, and then we just need a little ladder down. So let me grab some more blocks too so I can finish this up. And now our storage area is good to go. Like it never even existed, the big hole. But okay, let's go and build 4 more of these now. That wasn't too bad, was it? So normally I play music over these time lapses, but we do a little something different. We're gonna talk over this one. So these flower farms, I spent so long in creative actually designing this. It looks pretty simple, but for some reason these are more complicated than a lot of other farms. I looked online, I didn't want to copy one, right? So I looked up a little bit of inspiration to kind of see how it worked. And then I spent a lot of time like tinkering with it to get it to work right. I wanted it to automatically flush like all the stuff into a collection, so I didn't have to do that. Because I know there's some where you kind of like stand on top and you collect everything. I'm lazy, I didn't want to do that. But figuring out this whole thing was surprisingly more complicated than I initially thought, especially because like the timings are so fast. I had to find specific timings with the repeaters and everything so the floor actually moved properly. And like I said earlier, sometimes when it's positioned on like the wrong side, the bone meal won't even activate. Why that happens, I couldn't even begin to tell you. I'm sure there's some like redstone explanation, but I don't know what that redstone explanation is. And then of course, figuring out how much bone meal to actually use. Like I put 2 dispensers underneath the floor, but initially I had started with 4, and I think that might have just been too much. Like, of course it's going to be more coverage area, but eventually it gets to a point where it's just like excessive and you end up using more bone meal than you actually need. And for some reason, this farm uses a lot of bone meal. I think low key, I might be wasting some. This farm probably isn't the most efficient it could be, but that's okay because I designed it and I made it myself. Now let's finish up building the rest of these. All right, guys, so after several hours, we have completed all of our dye farms, but now we're gonna work on 4 like couple little smaller ones here. So we're gonna actually dig into this wall right here, and I think this tree might have to go. So what we're gonna have here is we're going to have our tall flower farms, and these are gonna be super simple, super easy. We do need to mine down here because we're gonna need some mine carts. So how this is gonna work is behind here are going to be 4 dispensers, and then behind these is going to be a redstone line that obviously goes into each of them. And then immediately here in the middle will be a little observer thing to turn this on and off. Let's make this come all the way out to the front. If we head on back down here, these all need to be connected like this, right? Very simple, very simple. Then our observers, this is the thing I always hate about observers, is trying to get them to place right on the right spots. Okay, there we go. That's exactly what we want to hear. This guy needs to go there, and I just got myself stuck. And then if we go down here and we grab our redstone dust, bring this all the way here to this spot where we will have, where should we have the lever? We'll put it right here. And we flip this, flip it again. What is going on? Wait a second. What is actually going on here? How is this being triggered? Okay, so this must be something weird with quasi connectivity, which is kind of annoying. Very unfortunate. It's all right. We have a solution for this though. Let's get rid of all this. The issue is now it is going to interfere with the, what are they? The mine carts. Yeah, the hopper mine carts. It's fine. It's really no big deal. But this can now come off here, and then we will put this. We flip it. Okay, there we go. Now those are activated. Flip it again. Turns off. Okay, perfect. That's what we needed. Okay, now that we got that set up, what we need to do now is we actually need to go underneath here. So the flower is going to be on here. So underneath on this block, we are going to have the rails. And actually, we don't have to worry about this getting in the way because we can just angle these things sideways like this. Oh, I already messed this up. These need to be hoppers underneath here. Where are our hoppers? Hopper there, and then we can put the rails on all of these. Then we put our hopper minecart there. Then we'll have a solid block on top of each of these, right? Just like this. Let's make sure to cover that up. We need a spot for the hoppers, obviously. So if we just kind of throw a chest down right here. This is super ugly, honestly. I don't like this spot. I don't like how low that is, and I don't like the redstone there. Okay, well, that appears to work. So there's our problem solved with the chest. And now we just need to connect these lines up. And then these are just going to go in here like this. Now, the only other thing we're going to need is we're going to need some glass right here in the front. Oh, also, I've just been like tutorialing this episode, I guess. I haven't even been talking about anything. I'm just kind of now realizing this. Big milestone. Let's see, what should we talk about? I hit 1,000 subscribers, guys. The big goal has been achieved. I honestly don't remember if I've talked about this in another episode or not. If we have, well, I guess we're talking about it again. But yes, we finally hit 1,000 subscribers, and it's honestly just all thanks to you guys. You guys rock. This never, would have happened without you guys, and I just can't even believe it, honestly. Like, I look at it and I'm like, wow, 1,000 people really have chosen to subscribe to my channel. Thank you to everyone, guys. Like, truly, you have no idea how much I appreciate all of you, and I hope you guys enjoy my videos. Like, I guess you do. 1,000 of you have chosen to subscribe. So as for big milestones, I think that's really it though. Got really nothing else. Yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys though. And let's see, is there anything else I have going on? I took down a bunch of sheetrock. That was cool. Just like ripping sheetrock down from the roof. It fell on my car, actually. I think that's the big update. I don't remember if I talked about that. Yeah, there was a bunch of sheetrock that was loose in my garage, and it ended up falling. So I decided to, of course, take it all down, which was probably beneficial so it didn't fall on my car again. It probably would have broken something. It was quite heavy, and now it's just all sitting in my garage. It's a big mess, to be honest, but that's okay. That's just part of home ownership, I guess. Anyways, this looks kind of weird. Maybe we'll come up with a better solution later. Maybe you guys have a better solution, to be honest. For now, this is our solution. Oh, also guys, that's what I was going to talk about. Building these things wasn't really that bad. The worst part was the one in the Pale Garden. For some reason, mobs like spawn more in there. Like, it's dark all the time, which granted is the Pale Garden, but even during daytime, mobs don't burn there or something. A creeper actually blew up one of these. I had to fix it. It was very unfortunate. We managed to fix the damage. So okay, now that the bone meal has gone in there, I didn't test this beforehand, so I actually don't know if this works. We're about to find out. Please don't embarrass me in front of my friends. Turn it on. There we go. Wonderful. You can see we are automatically farming all the flowers now. Glad this farm is done, and we can of course refill from up here. Maybe we'll change this. I'm trying to think, what can we do up here, guys? Because 4 random chests just looks weird. We could put little trapdoors like above the things here. I wish there was a green trapdoor. There really needs to be a green wood type. I'm so tired of not having a green wood type. We could put a green trapdoor here. We could put ones up here. It would be fantastic, but no, we just don't have green wood. They just want to keep bamboozling us. Maybe have like a little access tunnel in the back or something and have just a single trapdoor. That might work. And then just if we go here like in the middle and have a little trapdoor, we can just like crawl down here. Okay, I think that might be the option here because that will look way better. Yeah, it already looks better. There we go. Yeah, it looks fine. And then we'll put one there and we can climb on down. And that looks way better than the random hole that was there in the middle. You know what else needs to be fixed? This needs to be a grass block. Why did the one underneath change so fast, but this one wasn't changing? What is going on here? Absolutely ridiculous. And there we go. We now have pretty much all the dyes. Now we just need to put them in here. Now let's get working on the dye box and finally finish up this thing. Guys, I just finished recording that last clip. It was 19 minutes. When I initially recorded it, it only felt like 6 minutes. I couldn't believe it was up to 19 minutes when I finished the recording. I was like actually shocked, but I really don't know how much of that is actually going to make it into the episode because it was just building that small little thing right there. So yeah, kind of surprising it took that long. But now that that's finished, what we're doing now is we're collecting all our flowers. We have our first couple ones here. This is obviously red, yellow, orange, and these are, I think, pink and magenta. Yeah, pink and magenta. Then down here we got our Oxy Daisy. I think that's how you say these. Honestly, I've never known how to say these. So we're going to go with Oxy Daisy. And I think I actually only have one of these. Yeah, that's right. We only want one of these just because it's a color we don't use that much. I think this is light gray. Yeah, light gray. And then over on this side, we are going to have our blue cornflowers. So let's grab 2 of these. I know for sure we got 2 of these. And we're actually going to need another stack because we're going to have to make purple. Then up here in the pale garden, we are going to get our, what are these things? Closed eye blossoms. And I think this is gray. Yep, just solid gray. And then last but not least, the last one we got to stop at are light blue orchids. My personal favorite. I love this color. They're so peak. So now, what are we missing in this box? Because there's a lot of empty spaces. Well, for one, we need the ink sac for black dye. That's of course going to go there. Then we're going to make our way down here to our little bone meal farm. And we're going to grab a stack of bone meal, of course, for, oh, not potatoes, for white dye. Then we need our purple dye. So if we come back over here to our 2 tall flowers and grab this rose bush, and then we can make purple dye. And the reason we're making the purple dye is, well, the only way to get purple dye is from crafting it. Then of course for green dye, our favorite, cactus. And of course we only have 2 cactus. I think this is starting to become an issue. And then we're going to put some sea pickles in here because these are actually how you make the lime dye. The way you get more of these too is if you have a coral block, right? And you take a sea pickle and put it on the coral in water and then you bone meal it, you'll get more sea pickles. So it's easy to get a lot of these. Now we're just missing a couple things. One, of course, being cocoa beans. This is how we get brown dye, and we unfortunately only have a single cocoa bean. I think we might have to do something about that as well. Then we're going to have bone blocks here for extra like bone meal, right? If we want to grow any of these flowers, right? We need something on the go. And we're going to, of course, have our glow ink sacks because we use these quite a lot. And we're going to have 3 stacks of these. Unfortunately, we only have 21. We might have to make a farm of these. Honestly, a squid farm isn't that hard to make. So I'm thinking hopefully like a squid farm can be made from like a glow squid farm. I hope it's simple. They work the same. They're both squids. So I would assume that the mechanics are, you know, consistent, but you never know. Minecraft is weird sometimes. And if you were observant, you may have noticed we have 2 empty spots here. What are those for? Those are actually going to be cyan, which how do we get that? That is where these pitcher pods are going to come in. So when these things grow up, these can actually be made into cyan dye. Of course, you get these from the sniffers, right? They sniff the ground and dig them up pretty much. They also dig up the torch flowers. Torch flowers can be made into orange dye, I think, but we have a way easier way to get orange dye. But pitcher pods are the only way to get cyan dye. So that's what we're using. And if we just grow one of these to the max and break it, sure enough, you can see we can now make a cyan dye. And there we go. There is our dye box. Every single color that we can get, that we could want, all here in this box. With that being completed, I think that's actually where we're going to wrap up the episode today, guys. We now have a fully fledged out ender chest here with probably everything we'll need. And we built a couple farms and we had no mishaps this episode. That's a first, actually. Shout out, no mishaps. I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. Make sure to let me know down below in the comments if you did, or if you have any suggestions for either our farms or for the ender chest here. Shout out to all our channel members. Go and buy on screen right now. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more survival videos just like this. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.